Burnson, our all-Region 9 performer that is second in kills now behind one Kinsey Templeton. Also looking at Lauren Feyerabend in the middle. She was an all-Region 9 North team competitor, and Feyerabend playing in that middle. But it is Viteskic who has 67 blocks. Vanya Tomic has is their setter, and Shador Hayes, their libero, is right now 34th in the country at 4.5 digs per set. Number 2 overall in digs nationally is Shador Hayes from the Eastern Lancers. Tomic leads them with 25 aces. Perjul has 18. Your stat leaders for the visitors from Eastern Wyoming College out of Torrington. They're dressed in their black. They have white and gray numbers accented in their yellow. Central in their home whites today. They will have our national anthem, and we'll hit that, and we'll come back with more here in just a moment.
Fans, I just want to remind you to show these young ladies the respect that they deserve by cheering for your favorite team and not against the other. Ladies, cheer for each other, show the support that you deserve. And I want to remind you that Central Wyoming College is a masked wearing campus, so please wear it in the bleachers and on the bench. Thank you.
Players to watch in the orange and black here today, and of course you start with the freshman killer, Kinsey Templeton. 151 kills coming into the weekend, and she was on fire. She went over 20 last night, did Kinsey. Sage Burnson with 118 kills, the all-Region 9 performer from a year ago. Ava Rasmussen and Marley Albrecht in there as well. Our defensive specialist, the libero, is Alondra Hernandez at 152 kills, and the part-time, sometimes defensive specialist, but definitely a defensive specialist, I guess sometimes wearing the libero jersey, but definitely an all-time defensive specialist is Peyton Williams. Leading the assists, the center is Sophie Hanger out of Fountain Hills, Arizona. The blocker is Ava Rasmussen. Also in that category, Missy Mortensen and Marley Albrecht. And then Kinsey Templeton leads the aces with 20. Sage has 15, Ava with 10, Sophie with 7. And for Central, Sophie Langer, Alex Lee from Baytown, Texas, Sage Burnson from Highland, Utah, Ava Rasmussen as they are introduced, Ashlyn Ibaugh. Then you have Mary Moyle, Jordan Flippins wears number 7, Ashley Stefan of Shoshone wearing number 8, Mackenzie Templeton, number 9. Number 10 is Ana Maria Darilja from Serbia. Caitlin Lacasio is number 11. Alondra Hernandez in the off-colored jersey, the libero, number 12. Marley Albrecht wearing number 13. Peyton Williams wearing number 14. Missy Mortensen, 15. And Haley Isom is wearing number 18. They are head coached by Darshea Gallard in her 4th season, assisted by Brooklyn Thompson. Dante Jeffrey, the head coach in his 2nd season. As these two about ready to do battle. CWC and Eastern both 1-0 on the year. In the Region 9 North, Central has won 5 in a row, and they take on the 18th ranked team in the country from Eastern Wyoming College.
Like I said, certainly the biggest match of the year up till now. And I guess if you win this, it sets you up for the next biggest match. And if you lose it, it also does.
Right.
can hear Peyton's voice above the others out there as they are getting psyched to go.
Salt Lake has a 2-0 advantage on Western. Salt Lake ranks 16th in the nation. They lead Western 2-0. LCCC already defeated Northwest College today 3-2 in other Region 9 North volleyball, and Casper has the day off today. Hayes checking in as the libero. Victoria Anderer at the front as
Interesting. Usually the team receiving checks in with the libero, not the team serving to start the match. But both teams checked in their liberos here.
Vanja Tomic, a 5'8" freshman from Serbia, to start it off. Williams, Moyle, and Hernandez in the back row, and they'll go just in front of Peyton Williams, and that'll be an ace by Tomic. Their best server by far, 26 aces now on the season, and maybe more if she had some last night.
And no spin whatsoever on that serve.
Tomic 26 aces now. Kenzie is the leader for Central with 20. Left-handed serve right at Peyton again. That one shanks off to the outside. Templeton goes cross. Hayes watches it ricochet off of her and then the ceiling. And Kenzie Templeton picking up where she left off yesterday, hammering one down.
That was our earliest rough rattler of the season.
Yeah, second point of the game.
Clanger. We've gone with both, haven't we?
We have. Riverton leading Natrona's boys 26-15 at halftime in boys basketball down the road. And that ball poked over by Neja Pech, a 5'8" freshman from Slovenia, and she'll get the kill. They've got a Slovenian, 4 Serbians, and a Bosnian on this international team from Eastern Wyoming College.
Interesting it's pronounced Pech, isn't it, which is like the old coach.
Missing a T out of the spelling. Templeton with a left hand gets it over. Parmalee is there. Back row attempt goes deep and out by Alyssa George from Cherokee Trail High School out of Aurora. Her former teammate Alyssa Parmalee is a sophomore, also out of Aurora Cherokee Trail.
There are only 2 Wyoming products, I believe, on this team, don't they? Danny Masterson, whose basketball games I've done before.
Outside, Parmalee, dug by Hernandez. To the near side, Templeton blocked. Hernandez with a chicken wing. Moyle brings it up, and Mortensen will free ball it over. Gonna go back set this time. That one was really low, and they just had to get the angle as Mortensen crosses. One bounce hits the coach.
No point there, but Moyle, a great job keeping that rally alive, even though CWC does not get the point.
3-2, Eastern out in front. Hayes to serve. And again, we are aware that the video stream, unfortunately, is not active as that ball poked over by Templeton. Cross, Hernandez digging that from Parmalee. Langer back sets Albrecht. Cross court, just inside the line. And Albrecht with a kill ties this at 3 apiece. Just been made aware that the stream should be up now. So apologize for some technical difficulties on the video streaming side. Back set. Pech is dug by Albrecht. Free balled on a roll shot over by Templeton. Parmalee dug by Templeton on the sideline, but Parmalee will tally.
Well, she's only 5'10", but she gets up in the air pretty well.
Yeah, her first kill, and it's 4-3 now as checking into the ball game comes Anja Valuda, a 6'1" sophomore from Belgrade, Serbia, and she will see Devin Voles from Parker, Colorado go back to serve. 4-3, Eastern out in front. And interesting that Prejul, the player of the year last year, not in the lineup in the first 2 games yesterday against Northwest and not in the lineup here in game number 1 against Central, as there's a double called on C-Dub, and they trail now 5-3. Prejul did not play game 1 or 2 yesterday against Northwest.
But then played later on.
Yes,
then, huh?
Then came on, and Burnson off the block will tally. First kill of the game for Sage Burnson.
Interesting, you look at this roster, you've got 7 players from what used to be considered the Soviet bloc countries.
Slovenia, Serbia, and some Bosnia representation. Hernandez to serve, down by 1 Central. We're in game 1. They'll go at Hayes. They'll go outside, blocked by Rasmussen and Albrecht.
They blocked it off for Noggin, actually.
Ava has been on a blocking tear as of late. Leading blocker on the team. She's over 50 now on the year with last night and today's total. She's got 5, and a whistle blows, and not sure what Coach Jeffrey is asking for.
I wonder if that's a blood thing, because look, you've got the bag coming.
Well, you said blocked it off for Noggin, and I think that Anya Valuta might have a bloody nose out of that whole equation.
That will stop it.
So Adam Simon going to be out on blood patrol. We're tied at 5s just early on. Again, in Riverton High School basketball, Natrona beat Riverton in girls play 78-8 earlier this afternoon. And the Riverton boys now leading at halftime by 11, 26-15. And the Riverton boys will take that #1 seed into the regional tournament next week. So what we got is a bloody nose.
Yeah, stuffing some cotton with maybe something out into her left nostril.
LCCC leading
head back.
Western Wyoming 7-6. In the 3rd set of their game, it's 2-0 Salt Lake leading there.
She'll continue on as she comes out on the court.
Okay.
With the cotton still in her nose.
So kind of different rules. Basketball, you get blood, you come out. In
Also
volleyball,
have blood jerseys.
yeah,
You know, and
volleyball,
stuff like
you
that,
just
so
get the cut doctor in there and you're back in.
kind of collect jerseys. It's a good deal to get the blood jersey because it's never been used typically.
5-5. Set middle, pushed over, and the kill tallied by Viteskic, excuse me. Layla Viteskic, 6-foot redshirt freshman from Serbia, served by Parmalee. Set, Matt Rasmussen stuffed at the net by Viteskic.
One of the more powerful stuffs we've seen this year because it came back with pretty good force.
Velocity in, velocity out. 7-5. Eastern back in front. Coach Gallard talked about serve receive as Albrecht serves deep and slings it out on the service on the, not a serve, I said that twice now, on the swing of the hit. And then wanted to be a little more aggressive on the serving end today.
You know, it's weird. She, would have thought about a timeout, but she kind of got one with that delay, with the bleeding.
Burnson, and they will call Central with a double on the set, even though Burnson hammered it down. They'll call the double prior to that, and it's 9-5.
And here comes the real timeout.
Well, and at the time it was 5-5, and you kind of had the momentum at that point, so that wasn't really necessary for a timeout. But since that moment, it has been 4 straight by the visitors, and they have a 9-5 advantage. And we'll take a quick timeout with them. This is Rustler Volleyball on 88.1 and streaming live at rustlerathletics.com. Our broadcast crew today, Amanda Nikoloff is the professor, and she's driving the bus today. She is our director back in the control room. We've got Newmark Rika Franca running a camera behind the bench today. We're a solo shot down there today. And Jay Atencio and Shanna Miller are up above here as we've got the sophomore crew working today. All 3 sophomores working with our director and instructor of new media, Amanda Nikoloff, the best in the biz. As taking that cotton out of her nose and coming back out onto the court is Valuta. She will patrol that front row. 9-5, Parmalee, good tough serve at Templeton. Langer goes back set Albrecht, touched twice, and that'll be a kill for Marley Albrecht, her second, as she runs it through a couple of Lancers. And that stops the bleeding out of the timeout. Williams back in for Albrecht, who will sit with 2 kills. She leads Central with 2 kills right now. And as weird as it is to be down 9-6, Central has out-killed Eastern 4-3. Some shooting of our own foot a little bit, perhaps. Outside cross, nicely done by Alyssa George. She went cross court away from the block and found real estate.
Yeah, good angle and good down to it, both.
Going to see Helena I knew I was going to mess this up. Hablanov, a 5'6" freshman from Serbia. Helena will serve. 10-6 Eastern the lead. Templeton from the back court, from the back row. Parmalee's going to dig it up. And then a block by Burnson. Hernandez gets first hit. Burnson off of Parmalee, tallies it for her second kill. And Sage will serve. And she waved to somebody coming into the gym.
Very amiable player.
Absolutely. As are all the girls.
Yeah.
Very.
She's got one of those outsized personalities, though. You can just see it either on or off the court.
Pushed over. Good hang time by Anderer. Kirkland Washingtonian.
And which former player does that remind you of right there?
With that no windup, that would be, I can't think of her name right now.
Skinner.
From Cody, yes. Until you said it, I was all over it. Then I'm like, no.
I couldn't really put that in writing because when you bring it up in the third, it just wouldn't be very good.
11-7 Eastern out in front of game number 1. Serving is Vanya Tomic. Left-handed serve. Overpass by Moyle and a slam down of that.
And that's
by
really the
Alyssa
textbook
George.
of what you're supposed to
Right.
do to the overpass.
That's exactly what you do with an overpass. George with 2 kills leads her team now. 12-7 Eastern, not to the biggest lead of the match so far. We are very early in this contest. Another left-handed serve as it goes at Moyle. Langer middle, Rasmussen blocked at the middle. Hayes will get second hit. Cross, Moyle is there in the back row. Near side, Templeton blocked, but she'll use the block as it goes out of bounds from Petch. And Templeton will get her second kill of the afternoon, and Ava Rasmussen will go back to serve. Ava, 5'11" sophomore from South Jordan, Utah. Coach said she's touching 10 foot. I asked if she could dunk a tennis ball yet, and she says, nope, not quite, but she's working on it.
I was about to say she plays taller than that height.
That might have been an illegal hit anyway, as Tomic got a second shot that actually just goes straight to the floor, and Central's rattled off a couple.
And miscommunication on top of everything else there.
Langer touches the ball to her toe and hands it back to Rasmussen, as is C-Dub tradition. Rasmussen to Hayes. Set to the outside, pushed over. Rasmussen digs it out. Templeton kind of off balance, gets a shot to the back row that's dug by Parmalee. Langer gets first hit. Moyle to the 10-foot line. Rasmussen puts it into the bottom of the net, unfortunately. And Hernandez will check in for Ava now.
Lee's been kind of hanging around that 3-4 point range for a while now.
Had gotten up to as much as 5 at one point. Moyle to Langer to Templeton. The 1-2-3 and a good dig by George. They'll free ball it back over. Quick shot. Mortensen through the block, picked up by Hayes and free balled over by Tomic. And then Langer tries to dunk it down in 2, and it hits the net. And I'm not sure it would have been there anyway, because it looked like Eastern had peeled back away from the net just a skosh.
One thing you can see with Eastern, they have good court coverage, at least during the early going.
Serve at Williams. Hernandez going to bring it up to Templeton. Piece of it. Ball at the net and not brought over by Anderer. And it's 14-10. Dante Jeffrey coached at Lamar after leaving Northwest as being an assistant there. Coached at Lamar for 2 or 3 years and then taking over now at Eastern. And Langer will serve down by 4. Coach wanted him to be a little more aggressive serving. Yesterday just concerned with serving in, and there's a kill that was uncontested and in and down by Eastern.
I was just thinking about the teams we've mentioned that had run off these different runs to be the dominant team. And the 2 teams we didn't mention are these 2 playing right here, and one will move into first place today by themselves.
Templeton receives. Middle, blocked back at. A couple of Rustlers tangle up. Templeton finds one in the back row by Tomic. Back row attempt, dug by Hernandez, hits the ceiling. Moyle to Templeton. Hayes with a good dig. Petch, and they'll free ball it over Parmalee. Albrecht down the right side finds real estate, and Marley with her 3rd kill.
Is it my imagination that we find this handle the ceiling balls better than the teams we play? We know our home court ceiling, I guess.
(15-11) cross is in by Petch.
Interesting, the player that you mentioned, their star player, has been working out with stuff over there, and also kind of like a warm-up wrapped around her as well. And so maybe they just use her when, the going gets tough or something like that.
Serving is Voles. Middle, Mortensen is blocked by Viteskic, her 2nd block.
And here's that 2nd timeout for CWC as they trail it now by 6:17-11. Eastern yet to use a timeout here in this first game.
Take a quick break. We'll come back in just a moment. This is Rustler Volleyball on 88.1, streaming live at rustlerathletics.com. (17-11), Eastern Wyoming is out in front. Picking up a good little crowd conversation on the crowd mic there, so we'll crank that down a little bit. And it will be
good idea.
Eastern serving. Voles at Hernandez. Back set, Albrecht. Blocked but brought back up by Mortensen. Outside, a double is going to be called on Devin Voles, and Central will get the point out of the timeout. Natrona mounting a bit of a comeback. 2 minutes left in the third. Riverton is up by 5, 31-26 after an 11-point halftime lead. Back set, cross. Langer dug it up. Albrecht will free ball it over. Back set, blocked by Berntsen.
Rasmussen might have been a co-author of that block.
Couple of quick points out of the timeout by Central. They're now within 4 at 17-13. I keep saying that. Salt Lake has 1 in 3 over Western as they are swept for a second night in a row. Ball hammered over on kind of a free ball by Parmalee.
Kind of a rolling hammer.
Burnson is dug up, and then Parmalee fires again. Might have been miscommunication on the behalf of the Rustlers, as there was two in the same spot as they shot that there, and neither could make a play on it.
Whatever is the opposite of a campfire, that was it right there.
18-13 Eastern. Middle Burnson, dug by Parmalee. Sent over, Rasmussen is there waiting for it. Back set Albrecht, and that one fires off of Hayes and scores. 4 kills for Marley Albrecht here in set number 1. Trying to help keep her team alive. She has 4 of the 8 by the Rustlers right now. Templeton with 2, Burnson with 2, and Peyton Williams will go back to serve it up. Peyton with the meandering approach. Outside George, cross picked up by Hernandez. Langer comes to get it. Burnson with a roll shot at the 10-foot line, dug by George. Down the middle and getting on top of that one to hammer. It's almost straight down.
Talk about a quick set. That was quicker than a quick set, it seemed like.
Yeah, and she got good elevation to pound that one straight down. Teskich. Her second kill, and it's a 19-14 Eastern lead. Back set, Rasmussen sends it deep and out. That one just kind of not set up from the get-go, and it went very long.
One, the lead is up to 6 with 5 to go in set number 1.
And then into the net, our first service error of the match.
Interesting, because they've had, what, a couple aces before getting a service error, which is a pretty good service line.
Nechona has tied up Riverton now, 34-34. Late stages of the third in that battle. Service errors, what do we say, is unfortunately Sage puts it into the net. They come in pairs, and Moyle will check in for Sage. 21-15 Eastern. Substituting in, and coming in is Vanya Tomic. Galuda looks to be okay after she got her nose bloodied on a blocked spike out there. Left hand into the net. Service errors come in triples now. Back-to-back-to-back service errors. Central gets 2 points out of it. And still trail by 5, though, with 4 to go, 21-16. Set middle and great elevation again this time.
You know, we've seen
by
those
Anderer.
teams. Excuse me, John. We've seen those teams that are supposed to be so good coming from, you know, the region next to us. But boy, this team knocks it down as, you know, hard and as close to the net as anybody we've seen this year. It seems like to me.
Moyle receives. Templeton down the line. Dig by Tomic. A free ball coming up from Parmalee Central. The second pass into the box, and then Mortensen is blocked, but they'll chicken wing a couple back up. Set middle. That one didn't get the timing on, and Anderer just had to bring it over. Templeton. Ball goes into the ceiling, spins off. Hayes will have it, and then it's free balled over, and it's out. Coach Jeffrey even called that himself. He raised his hand with his own players shooting that one over the net on the out. The line judge seeing that one as well as the coach, both raising their hand for the out of the antenna.
Not sure if it hit the ceiling, but I'm kind of generous on these ceiling hits now. So
I think you missed one earlier that I didn't see you go to right down.
I added it later.
Okay.
I'm up to 4.
Good. Ball was deep. Moyle plays. Albrecht's going to free ball it from the far side. Central down by 5. Ball tipped over. Albrecht is there. Langer outside Templeton. Cross. Hayes gathers it up. Parmalee puts it over and through the block and down.
You know, they're getting kills off what looks to become a free ball, but they're not. They're getting pretty good, you know, on shots that you're trying to save it into play and getting a kill attempt off of that.
But Teskich back in. 23-17. Eastern up by 6 with 2 to go. Langer sets middle. Templeton Hayes has to go get a second shot, and a free ball coming from George. Moyle at the 10-foot line. Back set Albrecht, dug by George in the back row. And they'll call that a double and give Central the point.
That didn't look that bad from my vantage point, but I'm not down there.
Serve outside, Parmalee brought up, Burnson poked over. They'll call that some kind of violation. They'll call it a 2-hit. There could have been a couple of different ones.
That was bad when they raised the 3 fingers. You know, it's pretty severe.
Exactly, you know something bad transpired. Natrona now leading Riverton 35-34 in the early stages of quarter number 4 at Riverton. Riverton could be their first conference loss if in fact that score were to hold. Parmalee cross court, Hernandez there digs it up. We're at game point, by the way. Burnson is touch blocked. Hayes back row, George off the top of the net. Hanger with a great job to bring it back up, and Templeton roll shots it over. Outside, Valuta count it. And that's how game number 1 will end, as Anya Valuta taps one over the CWC block and takes a 25-18 game 1 win. Eastern looking fairly sharp in doing so. They outkill the Rustlers 13-8 in the first game. Second game on the way, Central falling 25-18. Eastern up 1-0. We'll be back after this. This is Rustler Volleyball on 88.1, streaming live at rustlerathletics.com. Game number 1 in favor of the Eastern Wyoming Lancers as they win it 25-18. And they are out to a 1-0 advantage. And we are getting set for game number 2. And again, the Riverton Wolverines now back out in front of Natrona by a count of 37-35. 5 minutes left to play in the ball game at Riverton High School. Other games today in Region 9 volleyball play, LCCC would knock off Northwest in 5. And then Salt Lake, 16th ranked team in the nation, taking down Western Wyoming 3-0 earlier today. Casper has the day off, and here's your last game of the weekend from Region 9 North.
That's a safe trip for LCCC back home, because that's a long drive.
Yeah, it is.
From Powell back to Torrington, and it has started to snow here right before
Cheyenne.
That's right.
El Triple C. But
This is a long drive for these people.
But Torrington making a drive to Powell yesterday, a long drive for sure. And they stayed the night in Cody on the return trip home. Central trailing 1-0. Albrecht and Mortensen will go in the front row with Burnson as Rasmussen, Langer, and Templeton along the back row. Rasmussen will exit with Hernandez coming in as the libero.
I wonder if at some point Rasmussen's going to hurt somebody with her celebration.
And you still look at it in that Vanya Prajul still not on the court for Eastern.
It makes you look at it, how good are they
right.
without their best player. And now I think maybe why we don't see her leading them in kills, though it's awfully close, because she isn't playing as much as some people.
Outside set. Goes down the line and out on a miss by Petch. Central the 1-0 advantage early. Templeton, nice serve, overpass, dunked by Mortensen, brought back up though by Eastern. Back row, Templeton connecting. That's something we saw the visitors do last night effectively, and that's the first time in a while we've seen that kind of power on a back row spike attempt out of the Rustlers.
Part of their offense quite a bit last year, actually.
Right, Sage especially. Blocked by Burnson. Hayes, back set Petch over the block. There's Templeton in the back row. Near side Burnson, down the line is in. Central the 3-0 advantage early. Templeton still to serve. Back row, Parmalee with the receive. Petch over the block again is not really swinging through blocks like they were earlier. Now they're trying to kind of go over them.
I was wondering if that last one might have been a miss hit even.
Back row, roll shot is more placement than power, and Parmalee will get Eastern on the board.
Right after we say it, it works.
Right. Parmalee with her 5th kill of the match. She's got her first of the second stanza. And she will, I thought that was going in the net, to be honest with you, as Burnson has to dig it out. Templeton. Tomic sets middle, and there's
I think she sort of whiffed on that, but it worked to her advantage. You were sort of backing up, but she didn't get that much of the ball. It came short.
Kind of a misdirect. And how about Jack Klumak from the CWC men's basketball team? He's getting the student body on their feet and into the game down here to our right. As Templeton with a receive, Langer comes
Which
way
is
back
tougher to do
get
because there's not as many people at these things.
Burnson, and that overpass doesn't make it over, so I'll give Sage a kill because it's kind of set keeper I am.
I think she was expecting to see a touch by Sage and kind of retreated a little bit, but then it never cleared the net.
Members of the men's and women's C-Dub basketball team in attendance to watch today. Hernandez serving with a 4-2 Central lead. Eastern with a 1-0 lead. Tomic tomahawked over by Parmalee.
The way she aligned her fists there.
And then Burnson goes cross court and tallies. And we've got a timeout on the floor. 5-2 Central. We'll take a break with them. Come back after this. 1-0 Eastern. Central up 5-2 in Game 2 on 88.1. Streaming live at rustlerathletics.com. I may have misidentified our ringleader of the cheers down here. If it's not Jack, it's somebody, and I congratulate them for doing it.
His name could be Jack. But
yeah. I don't want to falsely misidentify him if it's not him, but trying to get everybody up and involved as Central back out on the court. As Dante Jeffrey using all 115 of his timeout to send his team back out onto the court, trailing 5-2 but leading 1-0.
Missed out on the dance festivities.
Good vocal crowd on hand here today. Cross into the campfire. Langer digs it out of the coals, and Burnson will send it cross that Hayes will dig up. Tomic outside Parmalee, swing and a kill.
I had a feeling that was not going to be the same sort of a hit when that went set up like that.
Parmalee now with 6 kills. And Hayes to serve. Set to the backside. Albrecht, good dig by George. Up to the net. Langer gets in position for kill for the second hit. And then Rasmussen is blocked down by Viteskic. 5-4 out of the timeout. 2 quick points by the visitors, and they're trailing by 1. But again, still leading 1-0 on the big scoreboard are the 18th ranked Lancers. That ball skims the net. Burnson, roll shot. George is there outside Parmalee, blocked. Second hit, Hayes brings it back into play, and Tomic will bring it over. Langer, Burnson thrown over. Good dig by Tomic. That means Hayes will become second hit. And then George gets touched and digged and double called.
Yeah, and the lead has evaporated to a tie of 5s.
3 straight by the Lancers out of the timeout. Knotting us up at 5 apiece. And into the net will be Central. And now Eastern has taken back the lead.
It's going to be a hard time to overstate the momentums or overdo the momentums we had of yesterday's match.
Hayes again into the net. And like we've said, risk reward there. That is the 3rd service error of the match for Eastern. They only have 1 ace. Central with 1 service error, but no aces at the same time. And coach had wanted them to be a little more aggressive with a serve today. Back set, pushed over. Hernandez read it and came and got it. Back set, thrown over by Rasmussen with a left hand. Parmalee blocked and then chicken winged back up. Hayes goes in front of the coach to bring it back, and George will send it over on a roll shot. Outside cross court by Burnson is picked up by Hayes. Free ball forthcoming from Eastern. Central loading up now. Back set. Rasmussen has to flat-footed roll it over. Near side, down the line is out. The line judge did not make any indication. Boy, that one looked a good foot or 2 out from this vantage point.
I'd like to see that one again because that was awfully close. I wasn't sure myself, but
line judge
like
not
so many things,
saying anything with the indicator. Well, on replay, that's a lot closer than I gave it credit for, so maybe we'll just let it go at what it is. And Burnson goes down the line, touched.
But Burnson's had a high hitting percentage today, and I'm not keeping numbers on that, but you can just tell.
6 kills as Vols got a piece of it, the center in the back row. We're tied at 7s. Outside, Valuta. Cross. Templeton that time, ricocheting it off a couple of players. And Kenzie with her 4th kill.
By the way, she was not on the same club team with Sage Burnson. I got to the bottom of that today. The question you were unable or unwilling to answer yesterday.
Unprepared to answer, more like. And that serve goes deep and out for a service error by Central. And we're at 8 apiece now. Minute to go at Riverton High School, and Riverton with a 7-point lead on Natrona, and Rasmussen pounds one off of Voles and company, and she will tally her first kill of the afternoon.
Yeah, waiting for that one.
We've passed the flag on to the student section here now.
to New Jack City.
I'm not sure who we are now, but the professor giving up his flag for the student body there. 9-8 Central, and Mortensen will have to travel to go get it, and unfortunately can't get there, and it's 9-9.
Both teams on a scramble on that point, and they just, I guess, out-scrambled us.
Substitutions all the way around, and looks like Helena is back into the ball game to serve. Templeton through the block, picked up by Voles. They'll go back outside Valuto. That is picked up. Overpass and dunked down by George. And Eastern back out in front, 10-9.
Awfully close to the net. I couldn't tell for sure, but awfully close.
Serving Eastern up by 1. Langer does a great job of avoiding the net. I'm not sure Coach Jeffrey wanting some call. Blocked by Mortensen, and Central gets the point. Missy Mortensen with a solo block, hammering it down. And Langer will serve. Set middle, swing, and again, just kind of missing that mostly.
Semi-whiff or something, but it has paid off on a couple of occasions.
Ander gets it over, 11-10. And coming in to serve Tomic. Cody is going to beat Rock Springs in 4A basketball, as Rock Springs had one of their best players go out injured the other night, and I think maybe done for the season. We'll hope not, but didn't look good then, as Templeton blocked in the middle, picked up though.
Well, we've seen that a number of times doing games at State, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think of Rollins.
Last year, as a matter of fact, we saw one in the, I think the 1A, 2A, well, it was definitely in the 1A, 2A weekend, as that back row attempt doesn't get to the tape for Parmalee, and Central has knotted it up at 11 apiece. Moyle out, Burnson back in, Templeton to the back row to serve, tied at 11 apiece.
Well, that was a miscommunication there. CWC trying to take advantage.
Mortensen got stuffed back, but Hernandez brings it down. Albrecht picked up by Hayes, back row.
Pretty nonchalant.
Yeah, very nonchalant. Burnson cross off the block and score it.
Like I said, her percentage very good in this match.
Ender was kind of like blocking here, and it hits the side of her elbow, where Sage cut the angle on that to make it 12-11. Templeton serving again with a 1-point advantage. They still trail, though, here in the second set, 1-0. Chicken winged up.
That was one ugly receive.
A graze and then a punch over, and then a swing that Hernandez will dig up. And then free balled over by Burnson and Hernandez. Outside they go. Cross, and Langer self-defense. Petch will get the kill.
And they may have deserved that point, actually.
It was kind of.
That was one of the weirdest returns, the previous one. And that one wasn't pretty either, but well before that either.
Discombobulated from the start for the Central girls. Tied at 12.
That was a hit ricochet eventually there as Burnson gets another kill.
Sage, 8 kills already. Hernandez serving with a 1-point Central lead. Ball pushed over. Langer gets it with one hand. Hernandez up to Albrecht through the block. They'll chicken wing it back up, does Parmalee. And then Alondra trying the pancake, can't get there. And Eastern will score.
Kind of a weird set. I think the biggest lead might have been that 3-0 lead CWC got off to in this game.
Yeah, 5-2, I think, too, also at one point in there at the 3-point mark. 13 apiece. Petch picked up by Templeton. Back set, Albrecht. Dig ball to the rafters but doesn't touch anything, and then free ball back over by Petch. Templeton comes to get it. Langer to Rasmussen through the block. Hayes on the second opportunity. Nice job going to get that for Eastern. Back set direction. Hayes gets it. Set up in the air by Viteskic and then over by Parmalee for the kill.
A lot of digs by Hayes on that point.
Riverton has survived Natrona 49-47.
It sounds like a Tim Nolan, Ron Porter score from that matchup.
They remain undefeated in the West and Northwest quadrant as Burnson tallies again. 9 kills for Sage in the first game and a half.
Well, slow motion kill that time, but it's effective.
Peyton Williams serving. Parmalee into the net. Central 15-14. Ball poked over, deep corner, and Templeton can't get it. That was a great location by Eastern.
Well, it just knew when to fall, too, because it barely was in play, but it was.
(15-15) as it was Petch that got that kill. Blocks as Rasmussen gets stuffed to the net by Viteskic. She has 4 blocks by my count already.
Well, they've had some of the more definitive blocks we've seen this year.
Rasmussen, did that get a touch? Negative.
No. Well, she had to run an awful lot on that slide. I don't know if she could have got full elevation or not. Well, that's a low serve. I think it's going to be hitting the net.
Burnson Campfire for the kill.
It's been pretty close to automatic.
And, there's been a number of those serves that I keep just about ready to say
on this side
served into the net.
On this side,
yeah,
too. It's
just about okay. That is in the net, and then it just
the net's crooked,
skims over, leaning or something. 17-16. That one just goes sideways on Viteskic and out of bounds, and we're tied at 17s now. And a double will be called there. At 18-17 Central, quick 3-point run by the Lady Rustlers. They lost game 1, 25-18, trying to even this one up here in game 2. Outside, tipped over. Peyton Williams can't get a dive at it, and Valuta will get the kill.
See, Mary Moyle will check in. Sage Burnson will check out. Knotted at 18s here in game 2. 1-0 games for Eastern Wyoming College.
Cross-court shot by George goes wide, and Central now with a 19-18 lead. Kill by Templeton. Her fifth. 20-18 our score. And that'll be a timeout called by Eastern Wyoming. Central down a game 1-0, but they lead 20-18. We'll be back after this on 88.1, streaming live on rustlerathletics.com. Game number 2, Central is out in front 20-18 as they trail 1-0. Rasmussen out of the timeout will serve. Coach Jeffrey out of his timeouts now. Central still has both of theirs left in a very close down the stretch game 2. Ball just pushed over kind of on a side kill. Templeton rolls shot. Nice dig. Ball crosses, Moyle is there, Langer outside Templeton, deep corner is in!
Huge point right there, otherwise you're up by 1 or 3. We're up by 3.
21-18. Central trying to even this match up. Rasmussen burns, to the outside. George goes cross. Templeton is there to dig it up. Back row, Rasmussen off of Voles, and Ava from the back row terminating. 22-18, Central's biggest lead of the afternoon. Up 4 with 3 to go.
These two teams have not played each other, but they saw each other in that Western Nebraska tournament early in the season.
Back set, pushed over deep. Moyle is there. Langer goes middle. Mortensen blocked. Langer, another joust of the net. That one is won by the 6'1 Bosnian, Vateskic.
That was a directional dunk, which was kind of interesting how she pushed it to the side, and effective as it was.
Helena Hoblanov from Serbia, the 5'6 freshman to serve. Down by 3 with 3 to go. Outside Templeton, off the block of Valuta, and Templeton now with 7 kills. Sage still leads with 10. Templeton has 7. Williams out. Albrecht is in with Mortensen and Templeton along that front row. Hernandez, Moyle, and Langer right now on the backside, and Langer to serve.
Both these teams are 1-1 after 2 sets yesterday.
Langer goes middle. Quick set, quick kill by Anderer. She has 6. She's not in their top 3 as far as overall kills on the season, but she has 6 right now behind Parmalee for team high in this ball game.
Maybe taking advantage of a situation where, you know, their top player from last year is not able to play so far.
She did not play the first 2 games yesterday either. So kind of fully expect to see Vanya Prajul in for set number 3 and beyond.
I don't know what we're expecting.
Rolls shot, Langer goes and gets it. Hernandez, bump pass outside Templeton, down the line, is out. Eastern hanging on, and this is something they did not go away in any of those first 2 games yesterday with Northwest that were right down to the wire all the way both times. Left-handed jump serve just skims the net. Back set, Templeton blocked, kicked, brought back up by Templeton as Langer just kicked it into the net. And then a block by, actually I don't know if that was a block or if it was into the net on Anderer. Langer, I don't think.
She played another sport in high school, but I believe it was basketball.
Well, I don't.
Also played beach volleyball, which is interesting. They have it in Arizona.
I think she just put a foot out there because she thought the play was over, to be honest with you.
That could have been it.
Templeton, game point, goes into the net. Still game point, though, 24-22. Especially the reaction on Sophie's face kind of said it all that, oops, but hey, that worked. Still game point, serving George. And an ace.
Boy, okay, how big is this point right here?
Yeah, you win it or you're tied it up, and using one of those 2 timeouts is Darshea Gallard. As Central with a 1-point advantage, 24-23. And we've got a break for the game coming up here in a minute, but do want to remind you that CWC Discover Day, if you have a prospective student or one yourself and would like to check out and see what Central is all about, Discover Day will be virtual this year, and it will be March 9th, 10th, and 11th. Prospective students will be able to talk with faculty from all kinds of programs and hear from a student panel, learn about scholarships and campus life, and you can do it all remotely from the comfort of your own home computer. You need to RSVP online at cwc.edu/discover, and we'll see you make your way at Central March 9th, 10th, and 11th at cwc.edu/discover.
Some places the comfort of your home computer might not be all that comfortable in this country right now.
True that, with the wild weather that we've seen go on. You said it was snowing before game time here today.
Yep. And it may continue overnight or come back overnight, one or the other.
(24-23) Central with a 1-point lead late stages of game 2. Tough serve. Hernandez with a much better receive this time. Albrecht goes cross, and it's dug up. Outside they'll go Parmalee. Tapped over. Langer is there. Hernandez first hit to Burnson. Touched with a block. Their setter was the first hit, so they'll go with a roll shot instead by Petch. Central outside Burnson through the block. Second, third, fourth. Albrecht brings it back over, and diving is Hayes, and Albrecht the kill, and Central has won game 2. 25-23, Central takes game 2. We'll head to the third, tied at a game apiece. Eastern won the first, 25-18. Central winning the second, 25-23. We'll take a break. We'll be back after this. This is Rustler Volleyball on 88.1 KCWC, streaming live at rustlerathletics.com. One game apiece between Central and the 18th ranked team in the country, the Eastern Wyoming College Lancers. 5:06 in the afternoon on 88.1 FM KCWC. I'm John Gabrielson. That's Joel Kindle. Thanks to our student broadcast crew today. Amanda Nikoloff is in master control today. Well, she's in radio TV control, directing, as she has our sophomore crew today. Newmark Rika Franco, the sophomore from Cheyenne, is down on the floor with his camera. Jay Atencio and Shanna Miller up here in the box with us. As the third set about to unfold, Central fell in the first 25-18. They've come back to win the second 25-23. Almost dead even in kills by my tally, 25-24 in favor of Eastern. Eastern will start it off with a left-handed serve. And we still do not see Vanya Prejul out there as Albrecht sends it out. She did not play the first two games yesterday, but still on the sideline for Eastern today as Templeton tags one off the back row. Tomic, free ball coming, Parmalee. They'll go middle, Burnson taps it over. Parmalee, actually it's George is there. Parmalee with a roll shot from the back row is gonna tally as Alondra Hernandez dives in front of it and can't get to it.
Those seem to be giving us more trouble today than in the past. Some of those tip/rolls that they're doing.
8 in a row, and now two players tying their shoes and another player wiping up some perspiration on the court.
Neither team going real deep in their roster. CWC only using 9 players so far this day.
And I find it a little bit interesting as well as Vanya Prejul and Lauren Feierabend, two all-region players for Eastern, have not been on the court yet for Coach Jeffrey, and yet still very, very much alive in this ball game. Back set. Albrecht is dug up. Near side, Albrecht is there to dig that one up. Out to the outside, Sage tapped over, brought up by Tomic. George pushes it over. Near side, swing by Burnson for the tally.
That was the first swing of the point, really, and it converts.
11 kills for Sage Burnson. Outside, touched, nice one arm up by Hernandez, and then Burnson tallies again.
And Hernandez, without making that play, there's no point to be had.
You know, I asked the coach, everybody healthy, everybody on the roster got an affirmative, and I'm not sure if I see Lauren Feierabend on the sidelines wearing number 13. (2-1) Central. Set middle, and that's been hard to stop when Amber, at 6'3", gets some elevation, and she pounds another one down.
Well, it seems like two apparent players have T-shirts on
right
that are sitting on the bench, and she's perhaps one of those two.
Feierabend, an all-Region 9 North competitor, second to Prejul in that Freshman of the Year voting, as Albrecht tallies again as she launches it past Hayes. Marley Albrecht with 6 kills in this contest. She will come out. Peyton Williams will come in.
Team's very similar height-wise, I noticed, looking at the two rosters today, though. Those are two 6-footers that are not playing for Eastern.
Williams serve middle, 3-2 Central, tied at a game apiece. Ball is blocked, and it's in. Rasmussen getting the better of Parmalee on that one.
Eastern celebrating at first, CWC celebrating later, and he who celebrates last celebrates best.
Should be on a Hallmark card or something.
I probably plagiarized one.
That ball goes out by Peyton Williams, unfortunately, on the service error. Fourth service error of the match for Central, yet to serve an ace. They had one ace yesterday. Coach talked about that in the pregame as the referee goes to the sidelines to the scoring table. Jade Martinez and Sarah Watson, our scoring table. Our athletic director, Steve Barlow, is our PA announcer, and Adam Simon, the DJ, and running the video board here today. And both teams are in a huddle. The referees are ready to go, and then they finally Hayes will serve 4-2 Central. I thought Central got that point, did they not? Or no, the service went out by Peyton, sorry. Cross. There's Templeton. Langer goes to the net and dunks it down into the campfire. Sophie with her kill for the game.
Her percentage on tips has really gone up considerably since early this season, where she just wasn't hitting them at the right time or at the right place, but now they've become a part of the offense.
Burnson serves 5-2 Central outside. Ball campfire and a kill by Petch. Central kept playing as if there was a pancake, but I thought that clearly went down. Voles will check back in. Tomich will come out. Also back in is Valuda. And Voles will go back to serve.
You know, Pajul just kind of standing by herself at the end of the bench.
Kind of stretching and keeping limber, it looks like, along the wall there. And now the referee goes back to talk to the scoring table once again.
Nothing like a long bus trip if you're not feeling well after this. A long bus trip isn't great if you are feeling well, actually.
Especially if weather is involved as Rasmussen sends it over. 5-4 Central. Parmalee rolls shot. That one went down. Parmalee, kill number 9. Peyton Williams gave it a heck of an effort, but that one just right in front of her pancake spatula.
Well, those just seem to be working better for the opponent tonight than in the past.
Tied at 5s. Game 3, we're tied at 1s. Templeton, dug by Hayes, overpass. Dunked on the Central side. Langer back out to Templeton. Swing and through the block and a score. 8 kills, Mackenzie Templeton.
Was a setter up until her junior year in high school, so obviously it's maybe a selling point after you played a couple years at CWC, where you might go in college too, that you could do that many things.
Rasmussen serving with a 1-point lead. Valuda, near side Templeton, over the block, down the line and in.
Plays like that might help you go on in college as well.
One thing I noticed this year as opposed to other years, and maybe it's the different vantage point we've had, but Langer's got a lot more sets that are a lot closer to the net that both Burnson and Templeton have been pounding down with consistency as that serve goes out.
Of course, last year we used a couple of different setters, maybe 3 even on the year.
And like I said, it just could be from a different vantage point where we're used to being down on court side as to seeing it from up here, as this will be a back row attempt from Moyle that goes campfire and scores in front of Parmalee. Mary Moyle, first kill of the day. Central with an 8-6 advantage. Rustlers trying to knock off the 18th ranked team in the country and go to, more importantly, 2-0 in the Region 9 North after 2 home games. And then there's a block by Mortensen and Albrecht. We've said that a time or 2 this season. And if you want to watch Central, you'll need to do it Friday when they host Northwest, because then they are gone for the next 6 straight matches, pretty much the entire month of March. Free ball over. Langer, quick. Burnson, actually it's Templeton, touched, and then Hayes brings it up. George, cross, touched. Nice pancake, chicken winged over by Mortensen, but out of bounds. And it's point Eastern. Region 9, well, so yeah, it will be Region 9 North and South tournament as Hanger, great job to play that out of the net.
That's one of the more difficult things to do.
Ander is out. Garcia thought it was out. The line judge said it was out. Eastern thought it was in, and it's out. 10-7 Central. Templeton received by George. Back set, overpass, and then the dunk by Burnson is just wide of the mark. Kind of gifted up there, and Sage placed it, but she puts it the wrong way. And Coach Gallard saying, hey, try to push it into the court. Sage grins and gives her a thumbs up. 10-8 the score, Central, with Tomic serving from Eastern.
There's a Pajul now sitting, not even in a chair at the end of the bench area.
Yeah, and talk more about that as a nice chicken wing by Anderer. Keeps it alive, pushed down the line, Templeton is there. Near side, Burnson blocked. Mortensen brings it back up. Free ball from Alondra Hernandez at the 10-foot line. Quickly, Anderer blocks, but a nice dig by Tomic. Rolls shot. Hernandez is there. Central, Mortensen through the blocks, shoveled back up in the air by George. She'll get it back on the outside, goes cross. Sage got a piece of it to bring it up. Free ball from Hernandez, goes deep to the backside to Parmalee. Set middle, Campfire, and a kill by Nasia Petch. When I asked Coach Jeffrey, I said it was interesting, Pajul didn't play the first two yesterday. Will she start today? And he said, no, she's not in the starting lineup, but nothing was said about injury. And like I said, both Pajul and Feierabend, very decorated players for this Eastern team, and neither in the match up to this point. Outside, George over the top of the block is just in.
Alyssa wanting it out.
Alyssa George with a kill, her fourth, and that knots us up at 10 apiece.
We've been knotted a few times, more than like a bad sighting job. Again, one of those that could just barely clear the net.
That ball just goes right through the fingertips of the setter, Sophie Langer. And it gives Eastern a 1-point advantage now, 11-10. That's just one of those things, a rarity.
Yeah, that you've done over and over
Yeah.
and over and over again, but things happen.
And stuff's gonna happen from time to time. Tough serve, Hernandez. Marley blocks. Mortensen will send it over. Back set, cross, touched by Mortensen. Couple of, they're gonna let that go, or will they not? They'll say it's a 4 hit. And there might have been a lift or carry or something in that exchange as well, so just as well that they ended it where they did. And it's 12-10, Eastern out in front with a timeout on the floor. 5:20 in the Mountain West. You're tuned to Rustler Volleyball on 88.1, streaming live at rustlerathletics.com. We're tied at a game apiece. John Gabrielson, Joel Kindle at the Rustler Gymnasium. Coming up to you from the rafters. Tied at a game apiece with CWC and the 18th ranked Eastern Wyoming Lancers. They lead 12-10 here in game number 3.
Interesting, too, if you're not going to play, why dress out?
Because a couple of players haven't dressed out or gotten in uniform or they're covered up still.
Yeah, maybe I don't know, game time decision or something, but Templeton climbs over Alondra Hernandez to send that one over. George blocked by Central. Tomic got the first piece, and Hayes will bring it over on a free ball. Langer sets middle. Burnson. Defense play by Hayes on the cross court, and Sage with lucky kill number 13. And I mean lucky as in 13, not the lucky part of the kill, because that was all Sage hammering that down. But
that's the play we talked about from last year that was used quite often.
At 13 kills, whether you are superstitious to call that unlucky or lucky. 12-11. Ball free-balled over on a little set. Langer's going to set it to Albrecht. She'll be blocked, and then Rasmussen, I think Hernandez thought she was going to get a piece of that because she ends up underneath it, almost caught it. But a good block at the front by Eastern Wyoming. And they now enjoy a 2-point advantage. Sage with a receive. She'll go middle, and then it'll be blocked right back at her, but out of bounds. And Sage now at number 14. Peyton Williams in for Marley Albrecht. Peyton Williams to serve. Down by 1, 13-12. Little ball that kind of rolled off the table like a breaking ball. Blocked by Bergson. Petch tried the kill and tried to go cross, and Sage says not today. 3 blocks for Sage to go along with 14 kills, and it knots us up again at 13. That's what we should be keeping track of how many times we've been tied, because that would be running up like a tote board right now, because it has been tied a lot in this ball game.
I can only do so much.
Rasmussen, deep corner is long and wide, unfortunately, and it's 14-13, Eastern Wyoming. Viteskich back into the game as Hayes will go back to serve. Jeffrey calls the signal out for where to serve it as Hayes brought it over, and then set just a little wide for Sage, and she had to adjust and puts it into the bottom of the net, and it's back to a 2-point advantage Eastern.
One of the very few mistakes for Sage this day.
Central has outkilled the visitors 33-31. They've also outblocked them 8-5. And like I say, the blocks coming in the category of assists for everybody and blocks, so maybe not the greatest stat to compare as Parmalee pokes that one straight in the air. Burnson comes down with it. Hernandez will set it over. Tomic back sets it, back row George. Hernandez is there, quick set. Rasmussen blocked right back in her face by Viteskich, who has 5 blocks. 5 of the 6 blocks by Eastern belong to Leila Viteskich from Sarajevo, Bosnia.
And their blocks maybe a bit more emphatic than ours.
Although we did bloody one nose on the other side.
Oh, I'm going to start keeping that stat too now.
That might be our only one of the decade that we've gotten to do.
It's 1.
Hayes still serving with a 3-point lead. Near side, Burnson tallies again as she goes down the line. 15 for Sage. Stops the bleeding a bit as they get within 2 now. That's a shank, almost our first ace, but not. Peyton Williams goes down to get it. Templeton down the line. Referee says in. And hear the Templeton cheer from the Rustler bench. Kinsey with 10 kills now in double figures there. And Central down by 1, but unfortunately the serve goes into the net from Burnson. '17 is Sage's season high this year for kills, as she is going to obliterate that as this goes on. Serving Bowles at Moyle, dunked by Langer for her second kill of the afternoon on the second hit.
Yeah, you can be very selective when you do it. You're not going to, make a living off it, but boy, when you catch them by surprise, it's Katie St. John bar the door.
Exactly. One of our early setters when volleyball was reintroduced at Central. That one's a tough angle, and does it go in? It does. Wow, nice play on a tough angle by Alyssa Parmalee.
I can see how she could miss that antenna, in fact.
18-16. Parmalee to serve. Blocked down by Mortensen with some hang time at the net. So I don't know whether to go with a block or a kill on that one.
In your stats, you'll probably give her 2.
I thought about it, actually. I'm like, well, I'll give her...
And throw an ace into boot.
Give her a little bit of anything. Yeah, might as well just give her one of each.
I'm giving her a roof ripper on that one as well.
That ball sent over. Central on the attack. Back set. Albrecht before the block gets there. Hayes had the self-defense. And 7 kills by Marley Albrecht. And the match is tied at 18. Dante Jeffries smacking his hands together as he calls a timeout. At 5:27 in the Mountain West. And I am looking at one Sage Burnson's kill totals. 17 last year was her high kills, and 17 this year was her high kills, and they both came against Casper. 17 kills against Casper last year, 17 kills against Casper this year. For Sage, I have her unofficially
Get 2
at
more shots at him.
yeah, exactly. I have her unofficially right now at 15 kills for the All-Region 9 performer, stepping up against the 18th ranked team in the country. Mackenzie Templeton has 10 for CWC, 7 for Marley Albrecht. So Sage's career high 17, or season high 17 as well. And like I said, we will most likely see that be broken here tonight. Marley's kill high is 11, and she has 7 right now. So you would think maybe she's on track to set a new single season kills record for herself on the career high list. Out of the timeout by Eastern, each team with 1 timeout left. We're tied at 18s and a game apiece. Central serving. Langer floating the serve. Set to the middle, just misses Viteskic, and Central with a 1-point lead.
Yeah, she tried to play it first with her right hand, then her left, and neither one could really get a touch on the ball.
Just kind of sailed right over her head as she hung in the air. 19-18 down the stretch of game 3, and Langer puts it in the net. And we are tied up at 19 apiece. Back set, tapped by Templeton. Kind of a campfire shot, and Kinsey has 11. 20-19. Burnson back in for Moyle. Serve. At the net, Anderer high above the net, knocks another one down. 8 kills for Victoria Anderer from Kirkland, Washington. She is 6'3" and has some pretty good elevation on top of that in the middle. As Tomic will come on to serve, tied at 20 apiece. We're in the middle of game number 2. Left-handed hard serve, Templeton with a good receive to the near side. Burnson blocked and brought up by Parmalee. George over the block. Hernandez gets it. Back row, Templeton with a club on it. Hayes comes in for second hit. Tapped over by Petch. Langer back set. Albrecht. Tally another one for Marley Albrecht. 8 kills for Marley.
A very well-timed set, too, because you had everybody kind of playing to the other side, and there you went, and you would not get in no way there'd be a double block set up to defense that.
A lot of credit to the setter, recognizing that misdirection and going the other way. Mortensen coming out as Rasmussen checks back in the rotation. Central still hanging on to that 1-point advantage. They've kind of seesawed back and forth this whole game as Anderer sends that one out, but it doesn't matter as they're in the net anyway, and it's 22-20.
It's kind of a wacky hit anyhow. Kind of a sidearm hit, which is really unusual.
Hernandez with a 2-point advantage, serving it up for Central. Outside, Petch blocked. Hayes is there. Free ball forthcoming from George. Albrecht gets one hit. Rasmussen touched by Hayes. 23-20 Central.
Boy, nice break out of the 20-20.
3 straight. Rasmussen's 3rd kill and a timeout called at 23-20. Don't miss the Rustler Report Sports Talk Show. It's interviews with the players and coaches of CWC. It's every Thursday at 9 a.m. Joel and I will talk about all things CW sports. We even worked some kangaroos into the broadcast the other day. Not sure where that came from.
They're always boxing, and so that's into cartoons, and that would be a sporting event now, wouldn't it?
Yes, not one here, but scores, schedules, and interviews. You can catch it on 88.1 or listen online. You can also catch it out. It'll be streaming through our Facebook pages. It'll be a video podcast. You can also catch the show on demand on rustlerathletics.com. And we are about to have every single sport at Central playing, and that is 7 sports playing here before too long. Men's and women's basketball and volleyball already in progress. Rodeo begins mid-March. Soccer for men and women will get going. They're already practicing, albeit there's snow outside and it's about 10 degrees on the wind chill factor. Soccer is practicing.
It'll be a hardened bunch.
And then just talked with the head coach Al Lara of our cross-country team, and they will be doing some outdoor track and field at the end of the month of March into April. So every single sport at CW, which CWC has the most sports, I believe, of any junior college in the state, they'll all be going at one time.
I remember asking Al last year how the team was going to do in the sprints. Not well.
The cross-country team. Hernandez with a 2-point lead, almost with an ace. That would have been our first of the night. Petch, Langer, second opportunity, not good.
Yeah, she was basically trying to make a save before it got to the net.
That was going to be an overpass, perhaps, but if nothing else, into the top of the net. 23-21, George to serve. Top serve, Templeton is there. Outside, Albrecht hits the antenna, and it's 23-22.
Here's that massive point spot again, the 23-22.
George serving. 2 quick points out of the timeout by the Lancers. Templeton with a receive.
Serve when you're, down to the nitty-gritty.
Burnson, it's blocked off the referee stand, and that will be a Central kill. 16 for Sage, 1 shy of her career high as a Rustler.
Asked Miss Langer if she gets an extra stretchy uniform because she has to signal. She said yes. I'm not so sure if it's 200% Lycra or not from my vantage point.
24-22, game point C-Dub after they dropped the first. They won the second. Will they win?
Miss time jump.
Will they win the third? Not yet, as Rasmussen is stuffed blocked. Burnson down the line. Ball at the net. Hayes makes a late decision to bring it back into play, and they'll bring it over. Langer touched twice, and that's down. Langer the kill, and the Rustlers have a 2-1 advantage. Eastern won the first, 25-18. Central's come back to win the next two, 25-23, 25-22. And it's 2-1 Central as we'll head to the fourth from CWC. This is Rustler Volleyball from 88.1, online at rustlerathletics.com. Two games to one, Central leading the 18th ranked Eastern Wyoming College Lancers in a Region 9 North Conference battle. As Joel pointed out, the winner will be all alone at the top of the standings at 2-0, Casper at 1-0. Loser will be 1-1, along with LCCC, who defeated Northwest in 5 earlier this afternoon in Powell. Congratulations to the Riverton Wolverine basketball team. The boys team defeated Casper and Trona. They're still unbeaten in the North Conference and 5-0. They'll take on Cody to end the regular season Saturday of next week at Cody, and then they will host the regionals. Thursday will be just the Northwest Quadrant, and then Saturday will be the top 2 seeds from the North Quadrant and the South Quadrant battling for seeding purposes.
How severe are the regional tournaments in 1A, 2A going to be? How many teams are going to be there?
I'm assuming they'll do it just like that, where
just like always?
The top 4 teams in one.
But I mean, like when the tournament shows up.
Not just like always. No, it is going to be in quadrants. So 4 teams will meet at one location to decide 1 and 2, and those 2 will then meet the 1 and 2 from the South Quadrant at a location.
It's still listed as Riverton and Lander for 2A and 1A in the West, by the way, on the Activities Association.
I think that will be the Saturday portion. I'll have to go effort that a little more. I know that's how 4A is doing it. I know that's how they did it in volleyball as well.
And I was looking at the website, which maybe is not updated to the point it should be. But
you didn't cross bracket, as we'll get back to college volleyball now. Nice dig by Hernandez. Burnson blocked, is touched and brought back up. Tapped over by Petch. Hernandez to Albrecht, taps it over, brought up by George. Roll shot from the back row by Parmalee. Long volley on the first point of the second, should be the third game, what game are we in?
4.
We're in the 4th, gee whiz. Sage gets the, ball didn't get over, and Central gets the long earned point. See, so the first round games for the 2A will be at Grable, Riverside, as that ball's hammered down by Eastern to make it 2-1 already. So yeah, the regional seeding games on Saturday will be the top 2 teams from the quadrants. Those will be in Riverton and Lander, but the other ones will
that
be,
would just be a one-day thing then?
yes, at the host schools as Burnson tallies one down in front of Hayes. 17 unofficially for Sage as she'll set a new career high for herself this afternoon.
Suppose 1A will be spread similar then.
Yes. 2-2 our score here in game 4. Central with a 2-1 advantage. Parmalee to the outside, rolls shots it over. Templeton will dig it out. Rasmussen past the block of Anderer and Ava. Kill number 4.
And that semi-quick set, you know, is very effective with Ava.
And then George rolls the ball right off the leg of Anderer, and our Professor Fountain becomes a ball handler. Hernandez to Hayes, middle Anderer. I don't think that got over, that'll be 4.
They've had to do some weird adjustments on some of their sets, which didn't seem to be the case in the first game.
4-2 C-Dub with a 2-1 lead on number 18 in the country, Eastern Wyoming. Outside Parmalee, blocked down by Rasmussen and Albrecht.
It's always big when you can kind of thwart their money maker, which that play has been.
Yeah, Parmalee for sure. 10 kills for her. She's their kills leader. And still no Prejul from Eastern Wyoming, the freshman and player of the year.
Okay, she's somewhat bundled up over there, in fact.
Down the line, was there a touch? No, it's out. No touch. 5-2 Central. 6-2 Central. Hernandez still serving. Overpass down the front of the net.
Does not look like the same Eastern Wyoming College team that started this match, as you alluded to, you know, during our break.
They called that over the net by Central. They give the point to Eastern. Scoreboard reflecting 7-2, but it should be 6-3. There you go. As that overpass was touched by Burnson, and they'll call it the proverbial roofing as Rasmussen. Dig by Tomic, back set Parmalee. Sage goes to a knee to field it up. Albrecht got the block. Parmalee that time. They'll go back to Parmalee. She'll go cross. Burnson got it, comes hard off the rafters, and then Sage sends it deep. Hayes is there. Back out to Parmalee. Roll shot over the block to Templeton. Near side, Burnson again. Blocked. Templeton is there to pick up the scraps. Rasmussen past the diving Hayes and tally another one for Ava.
And the quick set again.
7-3 Central.
Should get quick set out of last sponsor.
So they're performing CPR on Peyton Williams, obviously acting, and
She
Peyton
did play
has,
2 sports, so she's tired.
Peyton was up to serve, yet she was getting CPR performed on her after this kill celebration.
As she does with this that half semicircle approach.
Blocked by Rasmussen, dunked over by Langer. Back row Hayes sends it directional. Peyton is there. Back set to Rasmussen. Blocked there. Peyton digs it up. Ava outside to actually Sophie outside to Sage, sent over by Peyton. Hayes to the near side, Petch taps it over the block. There is Alondra Hernandez, back set to the back row, Templeton. Ball goes to the rafters, didn't touch anything though, and they will get an attempt back at it. Langer has to go get it. Burnson rolling, Hayes, that ball skimming near the basketball rim. Free ball back over by Eastern Wyoming. Langer goes campfire, but Hayes is hanging out there. Back row, George touched and brought up by Templeton. Long rally, Burnson, roll shot. Overpass, Sage down again, but again dug up by George. And then Parmalee throws it over. Peyton gets it, Langer brings it back. Rasmussen with a swing. Boy, this one has taken a while. George dug by Hernandez. Templeton through the diving attempt of George and count it.
There's got to be a psychological plus when you win the super long rally.
You know how hard it is for 12 people to keep that ball from touching the floor on purpose, let alone when you got every third attempt trying to smash it to the floor? How long that rally just went?
There really weren't that many swing attempts from Eastern side.
Swing there, dug by Williams. Burnson in front of Hayes. That one goes to the referee's stand, and Tomic can't handle it.
Here comes the timeout, I have to believe.
Yeah. 9-3 Central. The Rustlers rolling right now. In game 4, they lead 2-1. We'll be back after this timeout. This is Rustler Volleyball from 88.1 KCWC, streaming live at rustlerathletics.com. Thanks to all of our sports sponsors on 88.1, making these games possible. Wind River Hotel and Casino, also Wydot, who will be our post-game sponsor. Gales Carpet One, Myers Gambles, WindRiver.care. And of course, the flagship, Central Wyoming College. Make your way at Central. Discover Day virtual this year, March 9th, 10th, and 11th. Go to cwc.edu/discover for information. 9-3 Rustlers leading 2-1. Back row, dig by Williams. Langer's got to go way out of bounds to get it. Templeton, deep corner is just long and out.
Checked Wydot this morning, by the way. So it'll be safe for me to drive from my house up to here.
And
it was.
Good. Mostly cloudy outside at Riverton now. Back set, Rasmussen, touch, blocked. Brought back over. Burnson with a stuff on the other side from Eastern. Back row, Peyton Williams off the top of the net. Dug back there. Here's Parmalee with a roll shot. Cross court dig up by Hernandez. Burnson had to approach and then stop and then smack it over. Back row, George is sideways and out. 10-4. Good buddy. Central with a 6-point advantage.
I wonder if not being able to sub as much, the legs are maybe going, because you're not seeing Parmalee, really try to drive the ball as much as she was earlier. And maybe it's the sets too, I don't know, but it just makes you wonder a little bit.
Over set, and nobody can get a second attempt on it. Central right now rolling on the Lancers. After they lost the first, they won the second, 25-23, 25-22 in the third, and now with one of their biggest leads of the evening at 7, 11-4. Langer brings it outside Templeton. Through the block, touched back up in the air. Hayes brings it over, but back row Moyle is there. Back set Rasmussen throws it in the kick. Fire! Tally another one for Ava. Boy, the way the first 3 games went, I did not think I would see a 12-4 advantage in one of these games. Despite Eastern winning by 7 in the first.
Yeah, actually it outscored them after 3 games by a few.
Right, back row Moyle, back row out, unfortunately for Mary.
Well, what's interesting about our team too is it can be a different player, can have the hot hand and different, like we have not mentioned Mary that much today, and she's had some great games for us.
Central leading that cumulative only by 5 as Templeton hammers one down on the outside.
But going to this one, they trailed it by 2
right
going into this 4th game.
Templeton with 13 kills. Mortensen in to be on that front row. We'll see Tomic check back in for Valuta. We'll also see Petch back into the front row. 13-5, Central by 8, leading 2 games to 1. Ball thrown over by George. Rasmussen, good dig at the net, bounced back down. Did Mortensen get a piece of it, or did it come into the net?
It just never got over the net.
14-5 Central.
And you could tell the frustration, kind of a little bit of a punt there.
And he consternated a little bit before he made this second timeout because he's already used one. But Dante Jeffrey stopping Petch and Tomic to talk with them before the rest of the huddle. But he thought about it for a minute. He walked to the court, kind of walked back, and then calls the timeout, trailing by 9 here in game number 4.
You can't take the timeout home with you on the bus, so you might as well.
Yeah, but and if you don't use it here, maybe there's no point down the road in getting that as well. Kind of like
wheels off your Conestoga are kind of going down the hill.
That's. I gotta write that down. Conestoga.
The first time this year, I think.
I was tallying that, by the way. That was my tally. Conestoga tallies. Right there.
I want to switch up the chuck wagon here shortly.
Rustlers back at it again on Friday when they entertain Northwest College at 7 o'clock Friday. Both Rustler basketball teams will open up Region 9 North play on Wednesday. They will host Northwest College in a doubleheader at 5:30 and 7:30. Wyatt Barichka and I will be on the call of the ladies' game, and then you get to hang out with me for the men's game on the second half of the doubleheader.
Checking my assignment.
So you'll get the.
Do I have to run a camera for the first game?
If you would, we would love that actually. Maybe technical direct.
Probably
back
scare
in
the heck out of them, and the director's like.
14-5 Central.
Why are we shooting outdoors?
It's our live webcam, traffic cam. Tomic to George. Peyton is there. Near side Templeton, touched in the air and brought up by Parmalee. Tomic back sets it to Petch, and that will be off a ricochet and a score.
Speaking of that, I remember referencing our weather copter way back in my radio days.
I remember making some sound effects for the traffic copter for the Mike at Night show and getting behind a cattle drive, and got stuck behind a baler one time, and that was traffic.
Was there a Conestoga on that cattle drive?
Traffic in Riverton as Mortensen is blocked. Langer goes to the near side. Templeton past the block, past the diving defender. She's got 14.
Well, it's just coming up Midas touch right now for the Rustlers.
Williams going to check in for Albrecht. I think maybe Peyton could add soccer to the list after that little display as the ball goes whipping past her.
Same time as the rodeo season. We can't have that.
She could rodeo one semester and do soccer the other semester. Back set, Anderer swings it back in, brought over by Mortensen on a hook shot. Tomic, George, cross is in. Alyssa George, 5th kill of the afternoon. And Alyssa Parmalee has 10 kills, but has not had one since about midway through stanza number 3. Tough serve is out. Templeton, sigh of relief.
Just by the hair of her chin it went by, I think.
Did she try to play it, or did she just
she
let
pulled
it
back at the last
Okay.
moment.
Service,
She had kind of an interesting grin on her face after that, like
service error on on Eastern. Ander, that one's unstoppable when they get after that one because she devastates that ball. 16-8, Central has the 18th ranked team doubled up.
you haven't seen much either of those blocks that were very prominent for Eastern earlier.
Eastern is out of timeouts. Back set Albrecht. Dig by George. Tomic, second hit. Parmalee free balls it over. Set middle. Mortensen through the block of Anderer, and Missy will connect. Her first kill of the afternoon. Rasmussen in. 17-8. Central just rolling over the Lancers here in game number 4. Hernandez outside. Parmalee back in the kill category.
Flashes, but only flashes of what they were doing earlier here in set number 4.
And is that due to Central's defense, or is that due to timing on their side? Is
Shortened roster. I mean, a lot of things maybe could come into play, or it just is what it is.
Back to Burnson, tallies past Hayes.
That was a nice looking play. If that's how it was designed, where you had the first person going up, and then the follow up is, and I'm assuming that's the way it was played. As
Peyton has to get off of the operating.
CPR 2021 checks back into the game.
Has to get off the operating table to come in and serve again.
You know what they need is one of those temperature guns out there.
You should offer that suggestion.
When they come to the bench after a kill, that'd be.
Burnson puts it off the chest of Tomic, but they'll still play it. Langer set middle. Rasmussen connected. Rustlers poised to go to 2-0 in the North. Up by 10 with 6 to go here in set number 4. Short serve. Self-defense by Alondra Hernandez as Viteskic clubs one on the quick set in the middle.
And I think if CWC is going to win the region, they have to win this home match today, and they're in the process of doing it appears. And at the same time, Eastern will go back with a 1-1 record off the road, so that's not horrible.
Service error into the net by Petch would be the 5th service error of the match. Central has 7 service errors. Central without an ace. Again, they only had 1 yesterday, and they're aceless today.
Not a problem.
Hasn't been, for sure. They have outkilled Eastern by my tally here, and I'll get to that in a minute, as Hernandez digs that one up by double digits. And then we'll call a double on Peyton for sending that one over.
Well, I didn't think she did, but she points to herself that she had, so.
53-39 the kills I have unofficially in favor of Central in a 4th game of the match. At 20-11, Central out in front by 9. Just trade points basically and take this one home, but Templeton clubs another one for number 15.
Is that a muscle strain, or somebody pull a muscle on that attempt?
Ouch. Ooh. Down goes.
That did not look right when she.
Parmalee. Gonna watch the replay here as Adam Simon, our athletic trainer, attends to Ashley Parmalee. Again, it was just bump set spike, and oh yeah, she kind of
did the splits unintended.
Right, kind of a different form of the splits there as she is laying flat on her back now, being addressed by Adam Simon. Again, he is the athletic trainer at Central, does a great job, wears many hats.
Yeah.
In these budget times, he's also assistant. Well, I guess he's the housing person now with our housing person leaving. In fact,
I did
so
not know.
he's kind of taken that over.
He's got to be a full-time father with several little ones. By the way, ranked number 1 in Division I right now remains Minnesota, undefeated from the Big Ten. Texas is 2nd. I think Wisconsin 3rd. Nebraska 4th, perhaps, but Nebraska did get beat last night by Wisconsin.
Janor Hayes fanning Ashley Parmalee with the clipboard as she's being administered to on the sideline. Again, Central back home again on Friday when they host Northwest College, who is 0-2 on the Region 9 battles. Then the CWC men's and women's basketball team, that'll be next Friday. And then CWC basketball on Wednesday hosting Northwest.
Well, if you're Eastern too, can you afford to lose another player on injury too? Because you've got a couple out as she will hobble. She starts to go to the bench, but still will go with Adam Simon probably to a training table.
And I'm not sure if that's like if she's taped kind of high on that thigh or if those are compression shorts. And you hate to venture, but you do hope that she is okay. Parmalee, top notch for Eastern Wyoming out of Aurora, Colorado. She has 11 kills to lead her team today with a block. And it doesn't look like we'll see her the rest of the way.
I've not seen their 2 Wyoming players, have we, for Eastern?
Well, and now we're going to see Vanya Prejul into the ball game. The 6-foot sophomore from Serbia does check in now, down by 10.
How late can you put somebody in?
Ashlyn Ibaugh is going to check in for the Rustlers at the same time. 21-11. They'll go right at Prejul. She'll bring one up to Tomic, and then George goes cross and tallies as she'll carry him off of Mary Moyle. And it's
Prejul still moving somewhat gingerly, at least in my opinion, out there.
now we're going to see who's going to serve. And I don't know if they know who is going to serve.
And I think the coach is going to ask who in the rotation is supposed to serve.
So figure out that Anderer will have to stay in. And they'll send Viteskic out. And then back to serve will be Helena. And again, Vanya Prejul, freshman of the year and all Region 9 and all region performer, not playing until the game was at 21-11 here in the 4th set. And that serve goes out by Helena. Service error number 6. Central 21, now 22-12.
And that Prejul playing back row, not front row either.
Right.
As she came in.
And possibly just because Parmalee plays all the way around, just where she was in that rotation. Caitlin Lacasio comes in to serve for Central with a 21-12 advantage. She'll send one deep at Hayes. Tomic to Prejul, dug by Templeton and out. So Vanya Prejul will get a kill in this set.
Without really windmilling it at all, but
she's their second leading kills. Only 4 kills behind Parmalee coming into the weekend. 181 to 177. 22-13. Templeton. High second pass. Back row Moyle. Dug by Prejul. Back right side. Dig by Lacasio. Hernandez. Back row Moyle. She and Lacasio, maybe a little miscommunication. They put it in the bottom of the net.
yeah, like Moyle said to her, I should let you have that, I think, after the play.
(22-14). Left-handed serve again. Near side, Albrecht from the other side of where she normally hits. They call it in. Albrecht with 9 kills now. 23-14. Serving Templeton. Hayes receive. Anderer, and again, that's Central has had no answer for that. As Anderer with 10 kills now. (23-15). George to serve, and again, kind of at that point where you say postponing the inevitable as Burnson, dug by Hayes. To the outside, Prejul taps it over. It's fielded by Templeton. Burnson, pass, Hayes is in. Burnson with 20 kills.
Boy, I don't know about you, but that did not look into me.
Yeah, I would concur that I maybe was going basically off the reaction that Eastern didn't really go after that because they thought it was out.
And they didn't argue the call either for the other part of that equation.
Match point for the Rustlers. Prejul dug by Hernandez. Lacasio sets. Burnson's got to come over to get it. It will go over. Dunked. Chicken wing. This is going to be 4. And it will be Eastern point. Hayes to serve. Central a point away from winning their 6th in a row. More importantly, 2 conference games. Lacasio, back set Burnson, off of Hayes. That's the match. The Rustlers have knocked off the 18th ranked team in the country with a 25-16 4th set and have won their 6th in a row and are 2-0 in the Region 9 North Volleyball Conference. We'll be back in just a bit. This is your post-game show brought to you by Wydot. It's coming up next. Central wins it 3-1. We'll be back with your post-game show. This has been Rustler Volleyball from 88.1, streaming live at rustlerathletics.com. Final score here today as Central has knocked off Eastern Wyoming College. They do it in 4. Central would win the first. They would go Eastern won the first, 25-18. Central came back to win the next 3, 25-23, 22 and 16. And Central now 10-5 on the season, and they have won 6 in a row. More importantly, 2-0 in the conference after their 6th win in a row.
That's also the best overall record, I think, in the conference now, too.
Yeah, as Eastern now drops to 10-7. Northwest is 10-7 as well. So, yeah, the best overall record in the conference for CWC as well, now at 10-7. Some final stats. Sage Burnson, new career high tonight by my count of 20 kills for Sage, 15 for Kenzie Templeton, 9 for Marley Albrecht, 7 for Ava Rasmussen, 3 for the setter, Sophie Langer. She had a heck of a game 3 as she got all 3 of her kills in that third set.
In fact, finishing it off, in fact.
Mortensen with 1, and that is also Mary Moyle with a kill today as well. But Sage with 20, new career high for her. Again, by my count, we'll check the official stats with the coaches and find that out later this week. Alyssa Parmalee left the game with an injury late, and we hope that she is definitely okay and ready for a comeback, as she kind of did the splits awkwardly in the back row trying to get a ball. She ends up with 11 kills today. Victoria 10 kills for her from that middle, just hammering those down. Nasia Petch had 8, 3 for Viteskic, 2 for Vols, 1 for, actually it was 2 for Valuta, 1 for Vols, and those were your killers. 5 blocks for Viteskic, 1 for George. Central was led by Ava Rasmussen. I had her for 3. Sage had 3. Missy had 3, and 2 by Marley, and those again are partial assisted blocks as well as some solo blocks that were out there as well.
You know, as you read off those positive numbers for Eastern, just think how many of those came early, though, for all those the good things that they did.
Well, they would go 13 kills in the first set, 12 in the second, then 9, then 8, as it just kind of de-escalated.
And the blocks went down as well, and they were some pretty ferocious blocks early on also.
Yeah, de-escalated. They had 2 each in the first 3 sets and none in the fourth. Central just 1 ace on the weekend, going 2-0 in 5 and 4 sets.
You wonder about that stat anyhow, because the risk reward, I always think about it, because you have the serve, but how many great serves do you have to get to that great serve? Errors do you make to get there?
And in their defense yesterday, coach said, I wanted the serve in. We didn't go aggressive. I didn't want aces. I wanted the serve in play. And that's what happened. They did. And today she said we'd be a little more aggressive. They unfortunately had 7 service errors, but still no aces. Eastern with 6 service errors. They had 2 aces in the match. Central wins it, though, 3-1. And all alone atop Region 9 right now, with Northwest College at 0-2 coming in here on Friday evening to Rustler Gym.
And they're playing better too right now. So I mean, it's every match, I guess, either whether you win or lose, kids get magnified as you go down the road here in conference play.
Definitely in conference play, kind of what that is all about for sure. Right there. Central will be back at it again on Friday when they entertain Northwest College. The CWC men's and women's basketball team will entertain the Trappers first. They will do that at 5:30 and 7:30 on Wednesday night here at Rustler Gymnasium. You can catch it all across the Rustler Network, the Rustler Sports Network on 88.1 on RustlerAthletics.com. And call your cable provider Spectrum to get on channel 189 and check that out. Final thoughts on the weekend, Mr. Kindle?
Well, we outscored them cumulatively 93-86.
Ceiling clangers?
6 of those.
All right.
This is a high point for ceiling clangers. Remember, it got the first one on the second or third point of the match, remember? So we play the ceiling clangers way better than the opposition.
And knock on wood, neither of us with the old punch of the mic time this time. So when we do this.
I actually turned mine off and pounded on it for a while just to see if I would.
Then you just turn yourself off completely.
Want to see if it was on or not.
Very nice. We will be back again Wednesday, pregame at 5:10 with the tip-off at 5:30 for women's basketball. It'll be followed by the men directly after that. Thanks to Amanda Nikoloff and the new media crew today, Newmark, Jay, and Shana. Also our engineer, Francis Obakoya. For Joel Kindle, I'm John Gabrielson. The Rustlers, they win it. We'll be back Wednesday afternoon on 88.1. Thanks for being a part.